Season 19, Episode 8 recap. I want to give my thoughts. I want to give what I think about this most recent episode of Sister Wives. So let's get into it. First thing that we start off with is we start off with David meeting Christine's kids. It's not all of her kids, but he is getting to meet a decent chunk of them on camera. I believe that they've already met David before this, or some of them have met David before this, but they didn't film that. So this is our first time seeing David with Christine's kids.
So you guys are all good? Wait, you guys are all good with just getting married then, apparently? Good? Good?
Okay, I think I need to
Tony, I knew this was coming.
I think I need to get to know him better. I'm just not ready.
One of the things that I love most about this scene is that we're getting to see Tony and McKelty give Christine a hard time about how quickly she's moving with David. And this is particularly funny because way back when, I don't know what season it was, must have been like season 5 or 6. It's when they're in Vegas, or when the family is in Vegas, and McKelty had just moved to Utah and had met Tony. Tony asked Kody for McKelty's hand in marriage, and Christine and Kody.
Mr. Tony has asked for McKelty's hand in marriage.
Pump the brakes on that real quick. They were trying to discourage them from getting married. They thought their relationship was moving way too fast. And I'll admit, McKelty had a little bit of a reputation for being a little impulsive during this time, so I get why they maybe didn't want her moving this quickly, maybe thought it could have been a bad situation, but she made the right choice. They are still together. They're in a very happy relationship, and I'm just loving to see how this comes full circle, because now they are saying the exact same things to Christine and David.
6 months after Gwendolyn's wedding.
It's just too close.
McKelty and Tony tease me all the time because I was like, put the brakes hard on their relationship.
Now, situation with Christine and David is very different. Christine is obviously a little bit older. She knows exactly what she's looking for, so I guess it allows them to move a little bit more quickly in their relationship, but still, it's a bit fast.
I remember what it was like being on the other side and not understanding at all why you guys had to rush. I'm like, why do you have to rush? What's the big deal? And now I'm like, we didn't rush. This is ridiculous. No, whatever.
Yes, I do completely support it, but like, if I didn't, would that matter?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
The next thing that we get to hear from is, again, how Christine's kids are feeling a little bit overwhelmed with how affectionate she's being with David in front of them.
I love you so much, baby. Let's blend these flavors.
No! I'm not really used to seeing my mom be affectionate with somebody, and haven't seen it in a while, I feel like. So I remember mom dancing with dad in the kitchen in Vegas, but it's nobody new. And so that's what's different to me.
I have 2 thoughts here that are conflicting. The first being that I do think you should listen to your kids when they're saying like, hey, you are doing something that's making me feel a little bit uncomfortable. I don't love it.
Peyton's having a hard time. And Isabel's having a hard time with how fast we're moving. She likes David, but she just thinks it's moving really fast.
You know, Isabel's expressing how quickly their relationship is moving on. They're not used to seeing their mom be affectionate with anybody, let alone be affectionate with her new boyfriend.
I'm not totally familiar with her kissing somebody else. And so when she does it, I'm extremely caught off guard.
I do think Christine should maybe take it to heart. And I know it's the reason she's not is because she just wants to be happy. And she totally deserves to be happy. And that is where my like conflicting thought comes in, is she deserves this. She has always wanted somebody to be affectionate with her in a public way, and she never had that, and now she finally has it, and she just wants to bask and enjoy it. But I do think it's a little bit much for her kids. She does make the argument that her kids are affectionate with their spouses in front of her.
You know what? I'm just testing them. They have to get used to it. It's just what's going to happen. To be comfortable in front of my kids, they kiss in front of me, I'm going to kiss in front of them. So you guys are all good.
But I do think that parents and children are held to a different standard. Just because your kids do something in front of you doesn't necessarily mean that it is okay for you to do the exact same things in front of them, especially if they're the ones expressing discomfort with it. So, I don't know, very conflicted. But at the end of the day, I'm just very happy Christine is happy. She completely deserves this. Also, during the scene, we get a cut of Kody who is saying that he is now able to look back and realize that he had a lot of good times with Christine, and he wishes that they could be friends.
I've been sitting here thinking about Christine, not in the regret place anymore. I'm sitting back, looking back, wow, we had some fun times. There were some special times. I would have loved to have had a breakup where we could have stayed friends, but I think the reason we couldn't was because I just felt like every step of it was a betrayal. And because of that, I don't know if I'll ever get to be in a good place with her.
This is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. First off, the person who wanted to have an amiable divorce was Christine. She was more than willing to have a pleasant divorce and be friends with Kody. He was the one who was squashing it. He wanted absolutely nothing to do with her because everything was such a huge betrayal. So it's really rich that now he's looking back on things and seeing what a great and wonderful person she was and what a great life they had together, and now is wanting to be friends. I honestly think it's a load of crap that he wants to be friends with her. I think it's more about the hurt to his ego than anything. He's just embarrassed that he, again, is reflecting back on losing all of his wives. So that's all I have to say about that. Oh, actually, I have one thing to add there. It also must be really interesting how he's feeling now about that clip, considering the lawsuit going on between him and Christine. The two of them together are in some tricky legal situations, and I bet he is haunted by this clip right now, that he is out there on camera saying that he wishes he could have been friends with Christine, because I'm pretty sure they are mortal enemies right now. All right, moving on to Kody's one-on-one interview with the camera on the day of his birthday. All of this just seems like a really, woe is me kind of scene with Kody talking to his phone. However, there is one interesting part in here that he talks about that I want to dive into. He talks specifically about how he imagined his life at this stage with his 5 to 6 oldest children living across the street from him, and he gets like all teary-eyed. I'm going to cut to the scene. We'll come back and discuss.
I literally imagined that my 5, 6 oldest would be living across the street in homes with their spouses. I mean, this is literally what I imagined.
I just find this entire scene so rich because he's the one who is complaining that it's irrational for Maddie to want to have a relationship with him and her kids on a regular day-to-day basis. Kody doesn't think that he's beholden to his grandchildren at all, yet he expects all of his children to want to live across the street from him. Completely bizarre. And if he actually was expecting that, don't you think he would want to invest in these relationships that he has with all of his adult children? Just saying. In the next scene, we see David and Christine go ring shopping. Honestly, this part is really boring. It's very cute. I'm happy they're happy. They pick custom wedding rings. It's cute. Moving on. So the next scene I want to talk about is Janelle and Kody having a conversation in that restaurant in Flagstaff that kind of looks like they're sitting in like that little attic. The bulk of the episode is focused on this conversation, so let's get into it. Let's take a look at the first clip.
So I have thought about, are you interested in buying me out?
Well, wait a second. You jumped to the end.
When Kody says that line of, wait a second, you jumped to the end, that made me feel like a lot of this was just staged. They had an idea of what they were going to talk about. They had this whole probably drawn out process of like, okay, we'll talk about this first, we'll talk about this second, we'll talk about this third, and we'll talk about this at the end. And with her saying, I want you to buy me out for the piece of my land and Coyote Pass, him saying, will you jump to the end, I think is the sign that they very much knew what they were going to talk about prior to going into this, and a little bit of it was pre-rehearsed. Just my thought. I know it's reality TV. I know that some of the stuff has to have some pre-production associated with it. Totally get that. I just feel like this scene made it a little bit more obvious than it is normally. All right, moving on. Also, can we just talk about how weird it is that Kody keeps talking about this, what about you and me?
What about us? What about you living on the property? What about you and me?
We have heard this man say so many times that he has no interest in being with Christine, with Meri, with Janelle. He only wants to be with Robin because she's the only one that respects him. So what is all of this about this what about you and me? And then Kody says the quiet part out loud when he is talking with Janelle, and he on camera admits to being a manipulator and admits to being a liar when he says that he has actually no interest in getting back together with Janelle. He only has an interest in mending things with his children.
Janelle and I talking about reconciliation is a bull pipe dream from both of us. I talk about reconciling with her because I'd like to be back in graces with my children.
We all know that to not be true because Kody, it's 2024 and Kody still doesn't have a good relationship with his kids, especially Janelle's kids. So I don't know what he's talking about. The other part of this is that Kody acts like Janelle is the keeper of the relationship between him and his children. Nobody is preventing Kody from having a relationship with his children except for him. He is the only barrier in that conflict right there. And might I add, there are divorced couples all over the country, all over the world, where their adult children have perfectly healthy relationships with their parents, yet their parents don't communicate. So I don't know what this is where Kody feels like he has to be in perfect alignment with Janelle in order to have a relationship with her kids. Just super manipulative. Oh my gosh. Then next we get the best scene. I absolutely love this scene of Janelle. It's a gem of a scene. I love this era of Janelle that we're getting where she is being super, super candid with Kody in a way that we've never seen before. She has, in the last couple of seasons, really shown that she's able to be candid with the camera when she has her one-on-one couch interviews, but we're never really seeing her be that way with Kody. However, in this next clip, it's just perfect.
You complain about my independence, and I will complain about your selfishness and self-absorbed. You're a little bit.
She calls him selfish and self-absorbed to his face. Oh my gosh. And you can see like the look on her face, like she's pained to say it. She really had to think very long and carefully about what she was going to say, and she decided to go for it. She said that you're selfish and self-absorbed. I love this. I love that he's finally getting called out, especially by somebody who was always so gentle in the way that she communicated, and honestly, just very respectful in the way that she communicated with him throughout their entire marriage. The scene just gets better and better. Okay, so the next part of this scene, we are seeing that Janelle is talking to Kody about something that happened between her and Robin way back when Robin was trying to buy her home in Flagstaff. And we all know that Janelle is the financial whiz of the family. So she was examining the finances and telling Robin, or explaining to Robin, like, hey, I don't think that buying this home is going to be a good idea because it's going to burn through the family's on-hand cash resources.
So I had a conversation with Robin years ago when she was getting ready to buy the house. And I just said to her, please, if you cannot buy something that's going to chew through our resources.
She was trying to convince her that that was too expensive. And Robin apparently, when Janelle was having this conversation with her, agreed. However, Robin then turned around, tattled to Kody, and said, Janelle was being so mean to me, telling me I can't buy my house, we don't have the money, and yada, yada, yada.
And, we all agreed she was amiable with me, but apparently she went and told on me to Kody.
And then Kody comes back to Janelle and says, what were you doing being so mean to Robin? And Janelle's sitting there like, I didn't tell you about that conversation.
It's like, well, you were so mean to Robin about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I don't know how you know that. I don't know how you know about that conversation. I didn't ever say anything to you about it.
So that must mean that Robin is turning around and tattling about me to Kody. Not cool. Also, and during this conversation that Janelle is having with Robin, Robin is agreeing. She's saying, yeah, I won't buy the house. I don't want the house, yada, yada.
I didn't tattle on Janelle. I just told Kody that Janelle and I were in agreement about not buying my home. And then it turned into some big, huge thing. And I got into trouble with Janelle because Kody got after her.
Then moves and says to Kody, Janelle's being so mean to me. However, We all know that this is a big lie. Robin has always wanted that house. Robin loves that house. And now Robin's moving into an even bigger house. So this whole she didn't want the McMansion is, in my mind, a load of crap. Then, immediately after this conversation, Kody says to Janelle, stop talking about Robin. It's only going to lead to destruction. Don't talk about Robin.
Don't go down that road. We're trying to heal things. More destruction is going to help us here.
Okay, then if I can't talk freely, then let's just leave it as I don't really want to.
But this is so hypocritical. Like, for him to do this in the same breath where he is listening to a story where Janelle is saying, Robin turned around and tattled to you about me. And he's saying, don't talk to me about Robin. Well, you seem to not have a problem with it when Robin was talking to you about Janelle. You seem to not have a problem about it when Robin was talking to you about staying with Meri for as long as you did. You didn't seem to have a problem with it when you would constantly listen to Robin talk about Christine and all the negative and mean stuff that she thought Christine did to her. He's always so willing to side with Robin and how she feels about any given situation. But if any of the other wives have anything to say about his sacred cow, then he loses it. Also, in this clip, we see Kody tell Janelle, don't go down that road. And the way that he says it, mixed with his body language, like, it's just so disrespectful. Who talks like that to another adult? Like, don't go down that road. It is clear that Kody is struggling so hard with not being in control of his wives anymore. He is definitely struggling, and it's coming out in these weird little moments of anger with him. So interesting. Speaking of sacred cow, can we please just talk about this clip where the editors of Sister Wives chose to zoom in so hard and tight and close on Janelle's face, making this moment so much more dramatic.
The kids talk to him about Robin, or I talk to him. It's like he just doesn't want to go there. That's his sacred cow. She's perfect. Don't dare talk about her.
I have been watching Sister Wives since I was in high school, and I have seen every single episode multiple times. I have never seen them do this dramatic of a zoom in on someone's one-on-one couch interview. I loved it. I'm here for it. It was great. In this same clip with the sacred cow conversation, we also hear Janelle talk about the whole point of living in plural marriage is that the husband is supposed to listen to the opinions of all of his wives.
I'm like, well, dude, how do you expect to be in a plural marriage with me if you have this person that you worship? That's part of being a husband in a plural marriage. You have to be able to hear everybody equally.
I just want a flashback. When have we ever seen this with Kody? Because I can think all the way back to season 1 when Robin was just coming into the family and they do, well, I guess it's the very end of season 1 where they have Robin and Kody's honeymoon. That was an 11-day honeymoon that all of the wives were uncomfortable with. Christine, Janelle, Meri, they were all uncomfortable with how long he was going to be gone from his very large family that he has. And they were also saying, like, we didn't get that much time. That's not really fair. On top of that, Christine was freshly postpartum. She had just had Truly. And you're going to go take your new wife on an 11-day vacation when your wife is just mere weeks freshly postpartum? He did not listen to a single one of his wives and how they felt about that situation. And that was in the very beginning. So I don't know where Janelle is saying this, Kody is supposed to be thinking about everything fairly. He's never thought about anything fairly. It's Kody's world. We all just live in it. Also, let's talk about this scene where Janelle is talking and trying to bring up her very genuine feelings about how things are going between her and Robin and her and Kody. And Kody just immediately, anytime she says anything, she expresses, I don't feel like there's an even playing field. The playing field's even. I feel like there's sacred cows. There's no sacred cows.
I don't feel like I ever would be on a equal playing ground.
The playing field is always equal.
Okay, see, this is why I don't think, it's like I can't explain to you, and you're getting mad when I'm bringing up certain subjects.
I'm not getting angry about certain subjects.
Anytime she says something, it's just deny, deny, deny. She is not validated in the experience that she's having.
So I just feel like,
And there are no sacred cows.
And she's expressing that to him, saying, I can't have this conversation with you if you're not going to let me speak freely about how it is that I feel. So again, going back to, he treats no one fairly, and the only person's perspective that he cares about is Robin's. Also, I want to say something about this whole victim clip.
Janelle has a card. It says victim on it. She likes to play it.
So, first off, this line is so rehearsed and so cheesy. So cheesy. But let's take it for what it's worth. Janelle's playing the victim. However, when it comes to your wives and your kids not talking to you anymore, it's their fault. They're bullies, they're mean, they're jerks to you and Robin.
I just think that's such a man thing, a male thing to do. Like, here I am, a woman who's really just trying to speak up and abdicate and protect herself. And it's labeled as something negative, victim behavior in this case.
This next scene, I am so excited for this. So in this next scene, we see Janelle talking one-on-one in her couch interviews, saying that Kody is a failure in their culture, that Kody is a failure for losing 3 of his 4 wives. I just have to say that I cannot wait until the tell-all reunion episodes when Kody has to sit and watch Janelle say that clip and we get to see his reaction in real time, because I can only imagine how that clip makes his blood boil. Now, I know in recent weeks we've heard Janelle and Christine say this comment about Kody being deemed a failure in their culture because he's lost so many marriages so quickly. They've gone on different talk shows and different media outlets and had this same talking point. However, this is the first time that we're getting this on the show. And now that means we will officially get Kody's reaction at the tell-all. If it's not included in the tell-all, I will be so mad. But I'm so excited. I can't wait to see his reaction because he's just going to be livid. All he cares about is his ego and how he's represented to the AUB. So this is going to be great. I'm so excited. Also, in this episode, we get interesting information that Janelle is potentially interested in pursuing a spiritual release. We have never heard that before.
My spiritual belief says that we're married, but
Let's cut the bullshit on that
no,
one.
you have to know I really struggle with how to proceed here because I know I don't want to go back.
That is brand new information. In all of the recent interviews that Janelle has been giving to different media outlets, she has expressed that she has no interest in getting a spiritual release. However, she says that Meri got a spiritual release and maybe that's an option for her.
I don't want to be married to him anymore, but yet I don't even know who to go ask for a release. However, I do know that Meri was able to just get a spiritual release, and we are both in the same boat. We haven't been part of that congregation for a long time. So maybe I can get one.
Speeding forward to 2024 time, we know that she doesn't pursue a spiritual release and that she doesn't feel like she needs to, but it's interesting that back at this time she was contemplating it. So something to be said there. All right, in this next clip, we get to see Kody almost try to pawn Coyote Pass off onto Janelle. It's very interesting. Kody talks to Janelle and asks that if she is interested in building a house out on Coyote Pass. And the reason that he asks that is because he wants to be released from the property. If she wants to build there, he does not see himself building property on Coyote Pass and will leave Flagstaff. He says we'll leave the area.
Why are we going to go on to Coyote Pass? If Janelle built on Coyote Pass, it would set me free, I think, because I would leave this area.
There's so much to say here. First off, Robin has expressed a million times that she does not want to move again, at least not a big move. She is not looking to move areas, I believe. Now, if Kody moves her somewhere, I know she will follow. I understand that. But it's just so weird that he's looking to try to get out of Flagstaff after he moved everybody to Flagstaff in the first place. Bizarre. Why the hell would Janelle want to live in Flagstaff? And Coyote Pass has probably nothing associated with it for Janelle other than bad memories. So why would she want to live on Coyote Pass, especially when she could go live in South Carolina with Meri and her children, which is what she ends up doing. And this is when Meri gets brought into the conversation. Kody talks to Janelle and says, why didn't Meri tell me that she was having more children? And Janelle tells the camera, Meri said that he doesn't have much of a relationship or an interest in her current 2 children. Why would he care that she's having another one?
Being closer to the grandkids.
Why didn't she call me to tell me she was having a baby?
The kids are all feeling very estranged from you. Maddie has observed to me that Kody has not been out to see her kids since Evie was born, and Evie's 3. Maddie's like, why would I tell him that I'm having another one? He hasn't really shown that much interest in the other 2.
Kody hasn't been to see Evie since she's been born, and she's 3. I feel like that's astonishing for being a grandparent. He doesn't even have that many grandchildren, and they only live in 2 locations. McKelty has kids, Meri has kids. You can't make a single trip out to South Carolina once in 3 years. Give me a break. And even if it wasn't just to see Maddie's kids, you're not going to make a trip out there to see Caleb, your precious beloved Caleb? Whatever could be. After this conversation about Meri, we then cut to a clip of Kody recounting, what things have been like over the last 25 years with his kids, thinking that he's been a hero, and now they don't think that.
I was a hero for 25 years with these kids, and now I'm not. I don't know. I don't know the answers to this. I know that it's been a hard process and that I am moving forward with a lot of disappointment in failure, but hope that we can patch up some of the heartbreak.
This clip is so infuriating because it just again emphasizes the idea that Kody is only concerned with what his children think about him and having his children idolize him. If his children are not in a state of idolizing his mere existence, he doesn't want anything to do with them. And it makes it so obvious now why he doesn't have a relationship with most of his children. Because they're not in the state of idolizing him anymore, because they're adults. It is something else. We then end this conversation with Janelle and Kody talking about bringing a lawyer into this situation. And specifically, Janelle brings up bringing a lawyer into this situation.
Okay, so I did call that lawyer that you talked to a few years ago, because he's the only real estate guy in town.
Oh.
He said he would meet with both of us because he's talked to you a few years ago. He felt more comfortable if we were both in the office together. And it would be simply a fact-finding thing. Like what we can do, what the constraints are, even have him look at the contract we have.
I think Janelle would do anything she could to screw me, so she's afraid I'll try to screw her. And so where I'm at is I'm bitter, and I don't care.
Kody's reaction to Janelle talking about the lawyer, his verbal reaction, his body language, everything about it makes it seem like he is so pissed in this moment, and he is absolutely fuming at the idea of her potentially filing a lawsuit against him for the property on Coyote Pass. The conversation quickly ends after this, and that's the end of that conversation. But Janelle is prepared to lawyer up, if she needs to help get that property at Coyote Pass divided, which, by the way, moving up to 2024 has still not happened. All right, to wrap things up, we also get to see a clip of Meri and her new carriage house. It's her birthday, and she finally gets to see all of the work that Blair has put into it, and it looks great. She's super happy. And I have to say, I have not been a big Meri fan over the years. I think with the combination of just Meri's kind of very black and white, strict and staunch personality, mixed with probably the edit that she gets through TLC, doesn't always paint her in the most favorable light. But I do have to say, this scene of Meri is really, really sweet. She seems really happy. I think that she very much deserves that after everything Kody has put her through. And we also get this very funny moment of her talking about pole dancing, and it's just very silly. It's very fun to see Meri get to dive into some of these more taboo subject matters and just have a little bit of fun with it. So this was just a great scene to see how happy she is and just that she's having some fun with her life.
It's just mine. It's all mine. And we can do my pole dancing. I mean, TRX. I'm officially a single woman, and that's really been weird.
All right, and that wraps it up for this episode. In the next episode, we do get to see a couple of glimpses that David and Kody get to finally meet. It seems, I don't know, it seems like by the editing, they're making it look a lot more dramatic than it probably is. David seems like a really nice guy. I cannot imagine him being anything but a delight to Robin and Kody. At the very least, he probably just doesn't have much of anything to say, but I cannot picture him at all being mean or argumentative or anything like that. So I'm sure it's fine, but they do try to make it look very dramatic. So I am excited about that. And I'm also excited to see that there is a conversation that Janelle and Meri have. And Janelle almost looks a little teary-eyed in the little glimpse that we got to see. So I'm excited to see what kind of conversation the two of them have. So that does it for my recap. That does it for my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. I thought it was good. There were parts of this episode that were definitely kind of filler content, but there also was that very, very great conversation between Kody and Janelle that I really enjoyed. It kind of added a lot to how Janelle has been experiencing things as their marriage has been falling apart. So let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know what you thought of my commentary. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I love any kind of sister wives chat, so please let me know. Also, it's a brand new channel, so please like this video, please subscribe. I'm definitely going to be posting more sister wives content, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.